This is Two Chicks, One Braincell. Viewer discretion is advised, mostly for their decision-making skills.
The world's deadliest theme park. The story of Action Park.
I've heard about this.
I have too, but let's see what happens. Okay.
Yeah, this is a park
All right.
I would create.
let's see how that ages as we watch this video.
Shit, okay.
Everybody heard that?
Oh.
Doza would create this part. Everybody heard, right?
Oh hell.
Let me know if you can't hear it or anything. Like, good enough.
Okay, I can't hear it.
I haven't.
Between 1978 and 1997,
What is this accent?
there was
Good
a
enough.
theme park like no other.
Oh,
I
shit!
love
Infamous
that.
experiment that injured thousands,
So gay.
hospitalized hundreds, and killed half a dozen.
Oh
Y'all
my
did.
God.
theme park of all time. The owner was like, I'm not going to hassle the
Oh,
kids
Johnny
with a bunch
Knoxville,
of
yeah.
rules. I'm just going to leave.
I'm not gonna hassle the kids with a bunch of rules.
Period.
Honestly,
Let them live.
me to my kids during the summer.
Let them live.
No school, no rules, baby.
Let them kids live.
That's right. Let them thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Safety up to them.
Eugene Mulvihill's Action
The
Park
safety's
was a
up to-
hugely popular and much
That
loved
is great.
New Jersey attraction, remembered
New
fondly
Jersey,
for its
that says a lot.
experimental and thrilling rides, but also
Oh.
for ending in bankruptcy, scandal, and
Did you see that slide?
Brother, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Bro.
I get stuck in the top of that.
Bro, okay. All right. You have to have some velocity to go down that slide, right?
Yeah.
So by the time that you hit that little whoop, whoop, that little twirl thing, nah, brother, you have nothing.
Mm-mm.
You have nothing. And you're stuck
Especially children.
like shit in a bowl.
For the most part, kids are pretty, light. How are they making
Dude,
around
they
that
are
thing?
not going to. They're gonna be stuck in that tunnel. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
A lot of people got hurt
Kyle.
over there. As you can see, it was like extreme sports. They nicknamed it Traction Park.
a slight
Traction.
alteration of its
Oh.
official slogan sums it up quite well. Action Park, where you're the center of the accident. In today's
Action,
video,
it
we're
says
going to
action.
dive into the strange world of America's deadliest amusement park.
Oh, hell.
On the 26th of May 1978, businessman Eugene Mulvihill stood
Businessman?
admiring a creation he hoped would transform his business forever.
looks sketchy.
Gene, as he was known, owned a company called Great American Recreation, which crucially operated a ski resort in the Vernon Valley and Great Gorge skiing areas of Vernon Township,
92.
New Jersey.
Ooh.
Gene really wanted
that's a
to
good
address
year.
an inevitable difficulty of running
Oh,
a
is it?
ski resort business.
You
During
remember
the
that year?
summer off-season,
That's the
when
year
the
I was
snow
born,
has long
bitch.
disappeared, your resort turns into little more than a regular grass hill. And as the snow goes, so does a significant
Yep.
majority of your business. Ski resorts had for some time
You're talking about 1992, not 1892.
But
by the way.
if you don't show, play the goddamn video.
been experimenting with opening summer attractions.
What is that?
I
with
don't
the
know.
aim to bring in revenue.
Nah,
during
no
this
way.
time.
Yeah.
What the
And
No,
Gene
you
wanted
dying
to
on
do
that.
the same.
You dying on that? What the hell?
What the fuck? Oh hell no.
I know. So, them kids ain't strapped into that little contraption. Hey, nah, you falling out that motherfucker.
That's something I'd make in
Following
the
the
backyard.
example of
brother.
other resorts, in 1976
Yeah.
he installed a 2,700
That's you.
Look at that guy's face. Look at him.
That's you. That's mean. That's mean. Oh my
That's
god.
that's you right there. That's me back here. That's what I
That
said.
guy got more
foot
hair than you,
alpine
so no.
slide down one of the steeper
True,
trails,
true,
and
true.
by 1978 added 2 water slides and a go-kart track. The result was a
Oh, they're just
collection
doing
of
anything and
attractions that
everything.
became
Yeah.
known as Vernon Valley Summer Park, which would open that May. This made it one of the first water parks in America, and over the following 2 decades,
I mean, that
would
don't look
grow
too
to
bad.
75 separate
75.
Wow.
Look at that. God dang. Tsunami.
Mm,
We got some. We got. Is that like? It's like a wave pool. We got something like that right down the road.
Mm.
Wave pool.
Yeah.
What
I would. This actually kind of looks
It's
fun.
too much.
I'm not gonna lie. This kind of looks fun.
Yeah.
They got a gift shop. They got Pepsi in the corner.
This looks really fun. I got a gift shop.
Shit, I
Hell
love
yeah.
me a gift shop, brother. I'll
Peps-
fuck around with the gift
Pepsi in
shop.
a gift shop. I'm in.
rides under its rebranded name Action Park. But as well as its massive size, Action Park was unique in one very particular way. As his
Death.
son Andy
Death.
Mulvihill put it, Gene didn't want to do the same old shit, where you
We
just get
did
strapped
not
into
just say
something
the
where it
same
crawls
fucking
round. He
thing.
wanted to take the idea of skiing, which is
Yeah, well.
exhilarating because you control the action, and transfer
Almost like we're 2 chicks with 1 brain cell.
But That kid to the right, that's you. Like, the
That's
face.
how I was fucking dressed in the 90s. I believe that.
Bro, you were dressed like a little boy? I can see
Yeah, I was
that.
a tomboy.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was tomboy. I played sports.
That's why
I was outside.
you're
I was
gay.
That's why you're gay.
Mhm.
Well, you know,
Well,
it is what
It is what it is.
risk in that, but that's what made it fun. This simple philosophy
Wait, now I'm curious. Okay, yes, on what he just said, correct. But also, now I'm curious. Were you dressed up like a dainty little girl?
Yeah.
Like dresses and stuff?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, shut up.
Oh,
Listen, my mom was very Catholic, very Mexican. So I could not wear
Yeah.
anything that looked any type of sapphic. It took a long time for her to let me cut my hair, actually. I had hair all the way down to my butt.
And honestly, in the 90s, since I was so young, I was dressed in like dresses and stuff. But once I got to a point where I could, kind of give my own opinion, I was more like t-shirts and shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wore like t-shirts and jeans and stuff like that. Like, but it had to be like not girly, but it had to be like, I mean, I don't know, a little feminine, I guess.
Yeah.
I hated it.
No, same. Yeah, same. I actually wasn't allowed to wear skulls on my clothes.
What?
Like like even as a teenager. Yeah, I told you my dad's super
Oh yeah, true.
strict and religious.
Yeah.
And he had custody. My mom wasn't around, so yeah. I wasn't allowed to have trip pants because I would get arrested and thrown in jail if I had those
Period.
on.
Yeah.
And I got pulled over. Yeah. And no skulls because those were of the devil.
Okay. My favorite movie growing up was Night Before Christmas. She really like fed into that, but I don't know. She just what Flyleaf. You remember that band Flyleaf?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to buy that CD or whatever, and my mom's like, "Oh, it looks like devil music," and I'm like, "No, it's like a Christian band." I played it for her,
Yeah.
one song, and she was like, "Nope, that's devil music. Take it off."
So my mom, whenever she like kind of halfway came back into our lives, she bought me a My Chemical Romance CD.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the songs was Mama, which is, I don't know if you know that song, but it's like Mama, we all go to hell.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my dad, that was back whenever, you buy CDs and they had the lyrics printed in the little
Oh,
booklet.
yeah.
And he read through it and he broke my CD in front of me and screamed at me. All right, let's calm down.
Not my house.
Mind you, he used to be a drummer in a rock band.
He wanted better for you.
And no, that's not it. He brought me to a bar when I was like 3 days old to introduce me to his friends.
Hey, took a shot with you. Period.
Yeah.
Now look at you.
Yeah.
Now look at you.
Yeah. This is what happens when you are overly strict and overly fucking
You hear that?
helicopter
You hear that,
parents
parents?
to your
You
kids,
hear that,
okay?
parents?
Let me be a lesson to you.
Don't let your kids turn out like Brooke.
Yeah,
Look at her neck tattoo.
Okay.
Terrible.
All right. Yeah. Yep. Tattoos and piercings and shit. Yep. All right.
Okay.
All right. Lock
in, motherfucker. Shit.
philosophy of putting the guest in control made the park hugely successful, but would also become its biggest controversy.
Oh shit.
Controversy.
Oh shit.
Action Park's first ride was coincidentally one of its all-time most dangerous. The
It looks like it.
2,700
I would
foot
fuck with that,
sledding
though, I'm not
track
gonna
was
lie.
constructed out of a mixture of
I would
concrete,
get on it, yeah,
fiberglass, and
absolutely.
asbestos. Patrons would slide down the winding track on a small sled using
Oh,
only
God.
a handbrake to slow their descent. Injuries were atrociously frequent as patrons were sent down without much prior warning of the high likelihood their sled could jump the tracks
Oh,
on tight corners if
fuck.
they failed to apply the required amount of braking or lean to distribute their weight properly. Owing to poor maintenance practices,
You gotta do all that to get down safely, and you got look at that baby. Look at this baby.
Oh my
Y'all got these
god.
little kids on this motherfucker. That's insane.
Mm-mm.
Y'all are crazy, and you jump in the damn tracks and stuff. Nah, you out
Oh
your
man,
mind.
but look at that guy's
I would ride
sunglasses.
it, though.
I fuck around with those sunglasses though.
Honestly, that's like aviator type vibe.
the sled's braking system would really only offer two settings: extremely slow and a speed described by a former employee as death awaits. The result was patrons
awaits.
usually wearing only bathing suits and most definitely without any helmets or protection
Oh,
would regularly
God.
be thrown off their sled, suffering severe abrasions and broken limbs. Between 1984 and 1985, the slide alone was responsible for 14 fractures and 26 head injuries.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Also, if I was a parent, I'm suing.
Yeah.
I'm suing.
Yeah, I bet you that's why this park didn't make it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got this shit suit out of it. Yeah. If my kid went down, no.
Oh hell no! You can't. You
Ain't
go on
hell
hold.
no.
You get off missing one limb.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like Michael.
In fact, it's reported that at the end of a busy day, staff would find certain sections of the slide coated in a reddish sheen of blood and shredded skin. Staff kept a magic potion of 70% alcohol and 10% iodine on hand to spray down severely carpet-burned patrons.
Wow.
An employee was ejected at such a high
What the
velocity that the resulting injury gouged the back of his legs and butt so badly that he needed 200 stitches.
Oh
200 stitches.
my god! Fuck that.
What? I quit.
Nah,
You can't fire me. I quit.
I'm gonna sue you.
Yeah, I'm quitting. I'm suing. You gonna pay me my damn workman's comp?
Finally, just to add insult to injury, because the Alpine slide travelled directly under the park's former ski lift, those riding would routinely get spat or urinated on from above. The slide was located at the Alpine Centre, one of the 3 main sections of action.
Who's going down?
Oh my god!
Hold up.
That is so that's so fucked.
I know this was another time, but you ain't gotta be fucking nasty and gross.
Why would they do that? Were they drunk? Were they like drinking?
Probably. That's still not an excuse. But that's
Spat on?
you're pissing off. That's disgusting enough. But you're pissing off the side of the.
Little golden shower action. Dude, imagine if somebody shit on you too. Vomited?
real?
Oh,
You know, I
vomited?
think I
Oh, no,
Stop,
bro.
please
no,
stop, please stop,
no,
please stop,
no,
please stop,
no.
please stop, please stop.
Oh.
I'm gonna throw it.
Get together.
Okay.
Get together.
Breathe. Okay.
Park, the other two being Motor World and Water World, which housed the vast majority of the park's rides. The nearby skateboard park was closed after only a single season due to inadequate build quality. The skating bulls were separated from each other by pavement, which in many cases did not match the height of the bull edge, meaning boards would get stuck on the lip. A former employee commented it was responsible for so many injuries that we covered it up with dirt and pretended it never happened.
Wow.
And in fact,
Wow.
some of the rides were so
They
dangerous
hit the body.
they never even managed to open to the public at all. The Bailey Ball was such an attraction.
What the hell?
What is that?
What kind of torture device is that, brother? It's not
Crazy.
even red. It's just blood.
Yeah, it was white before one person went down it, and then look at all the look at all the wheels. You thought that was gonna do something? Look at this.
Brother, this is
Two little
just
wheels on the top.
insane. Insane.
Where are they pushing this down? A hill? What is it?
I don't know.
Essentially a large steel sphere with industrial roller wheels bolted all around the outside, creating what can only be described as a replica World War II era anti-submarine mine. The idea was
What?
a human rider would be secured inside and rolled downhill on a PVC pipe track. However, when the
On a PVC pipe track.
Oh my god. This is just, there is no common sense. None.
No. You know, if this was in Alabama, you'd get in that thing, and about 5 minutes later, you'd be roasted from the inside out. It wouldn't matter if you made it down the pipe
Oh
or not.
shit, same thing for Texas. Hell, it's
Yeah.
101 right now. Goddamn.
Yeah, you'd be cooked. It's 95 right now,
Wow.
which is surprising because it's also been raining for like 2 weeks.
Hell no.
Oh, ridiculous.
state inspector arrived to see the ball in action, the summer heat had expanded the piping, causing the ball, with a man inside it, to fly off the tracks, rolling down the steep slope uncontrolled and travelling straight through the parking lot across Route 94 and finally coming to rest in a swamp. It said that the inspector watched
In a swamp?
Through the parking lot, across the highway, and landed in a swamp.
Oh yeah, let's.
What?
Oh yeah, that's a check. That's a check. Go ahead, run it. Put some people on there. It's good. It's good. Good to go. Good to go.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
You're good.
Fine.
You're fine.
Check mark. Go ahead. It's insane, dude. What the?
silently
my
as the
God.
ball came to a rest before promptly leaving without saying a word.
Wow.
management abandoned this masterpiece.
Oh, surprising.
Yeah.
After the first season, in
Honestly, yeah.
1978, Gene sought to expand his park, believing the best way to do this was, quote, by legalizing drunk driving in a collection
Oh,
of attractions
yeah,
known
yeah.
as Motor World.
Yeah.
The first ride of note here was the Grand Prix track, featuring 3/4 size Formula One races that could travel at over 50 miles per hour. If that wasn't concerning enough, the park operated an alcohol drinks bar only a few meters away. Patrons would ride
Holy
these races
shit.
drunk and often underage using a fake driver's license. One employee actually broke into the park in the middle of the night, stole a Lola Racer, and disabled its inbuilt speed limiter before taking it for a joyride down Route 94. Police reportedly pursued the
Oh
employee
my God,
at
bro.
over 90 miles per hour for several
90?
miles before he was apprehended. Similar to the Lola Racers were the
How easy is it to disable the speed cap or whatever, however he said it? Also, 50 and you're drunk is bad
Brother,
enough,
brother,
especially all around all these other people.
brother. Yo,
Brother,
god damn. That's insane.
down the highway going 90 in a go kart.
Oh,
my God.
my God.
And we ride tractors around here down the road. That's insane.
And we ride tractor
Honestly.
down here on the road.
Horses, you be saying horses and tractors
You
going
say-
down the
you
road.
be
That's-
saying
y'all
horses?
crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
super go-karts. Drivers were not required to present a license here, which would not be so concerning were it not for the fact that the inbuilt speed limiter could be disabled by wedging in a tennis ball, enabling patrons to fly around at speeds reaching 50 miles an hour. A particularly unique injury that would occur here is that because the carts ran on petrol engines, the fume inhalations would regularly make patrons sick, and sometimes the gas caps would fly off the carts as people drove along, splashing out the liquid fuel and hitting drivers further behind in a kind of Mario Kart style attack. The super
they're out here playing Mario Kart for real.
Jesus Christ.
Throwing shit behind them to get the other people out. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's insane. Were those actually the go-karts that they were using?
I think so. I think this is all real footage. Yeah.
Because that looks like
pretty sure.
that looks scary as hell, bro.
That's a death trap right there.
A death trap. Good God.
Ew. Ew.
No. That looks like something one of the kids in one of our mechanics class would fucking put together.
Fuel and hitting drivers further behind in a kind of Mario Kart style attack. The super speedboat suffered a very similar issue. A tamer attraction nearby called Bumper Boat took the idea of hitting cars into each other and then put that on water. The problem was not with the Bumper Boat ride itself, more that patrons would treat the faster super speedboats as bumper boats, smashing the flimsy boat into each other at excessive speeds. Anyone too tall would have to dangle their legs over the side, and you can imagine just how regularly this caused lower extremity fractures. The engines also coated the lake water in a kind of oily sheen, burning and irritating guests unlucky enough to fall into the water after a high-speed collision. Petrol-induced delirium was the reward for anyone who managed to stay inside the boat. And finally, another noteworthy attraction for Motor World was one of the park's most popular attractions.
That's badass.
Called
Not gonna lie, that looks badass as fuck.
Tanks that fired tennis balls from a cannon. If you shot another tank's hit point, it would temporarily disable movement.
That's cool.
That is really fucking cool.
What happened here?
I will say, I have been to a theme park and they had like a submarine. It was like a submarine ride, and you can get on it and you could shoot shit from the submarine and like spray water. It was the coolest thing ever. Yeah, that's cool.
When I was on those little boat, well, like they look like the tubes kind of that it showed before this. Riding around, they had them like that where you could shoot water off of them or whatever. I understand water. Tennis balls. I mean, if you're in this contraption,
I mean,
I guess
that's sort of safe. That's sort of safe. No, it would be fucked up. It would be crazy if they didn't have that thing on there. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. And also, how fast is it shooting these tennis balls out? Like, are we doing it like a pitcher speed, like 90 miles an hour, or is it?
It's probably 90. I'm not gonna lie. That shit looks like it was going quick.
Static cannons placed on the arena's perimeter also allowed guests standing outside to fire in. This particular attraction was one of the staff's least favourite to guard because of the high likelihood of getting pelted with tennis balls that would fire at over 90 miles an hour.
Yep, there you go.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yep. They're like, I don't want to work that one. I got pelted in the noggin the last time. He made me unconscious. Too bad.
Too bad. Collect this $3 an hour.
The most loved and most infamous section of rides were gathered into an area known as Waterworld. Undoubtedly the most dangerous, these were the rides that would ultimately lead to the tragic downfall of
I used to do
Action
that
Park.
in
Probably the
a
single
lake.
most recognizable of all these rides was the
They got lakes in
Cannonball Loop,
Alabama?
a fully
Swiper.
enclosed water slide with a
Bitch,
unique, completely
everywhere.
vertical loop at the end. You
Lake
tend
or
not to
river or
see these
something, I
at
would
water
swing off
parks
the
for the perhaps
rope,
unsurprising
in
reason
that
that
motherfucker.
shooting people out of a vertical
Hello,
loop is
Mom.
not necessarily conducive to their survival. The ride itself
Like
was built
Tarzan?
kind of by the eyeball, using some nearby car factory workers who had recently been made redundant as labor. When the first
Factory
test
workers
dummies
is
went down, it
insane.
was reported that one came back missing its head. To convince real humans to go down, the
Missing-
park offered
that's-
employees $100, and eventually Eugene
$100
Brady was the
Hey,
first person
what
to
the
do
hell?
so.
And I'll pay you $100 to go down this. If you survive, you get $100. $100. Bitch, no.
Hey,
I
give
know
me
back then it
150.
was more money.
Give me 150 and we'll have a serious
Yeah.
discussion about it.
Yeah. You know what? 20
Would you
bucks is
would you
20
do
bucks.
it? Would you do it? Would you do it?
No.
I would do it.
You're insane. No.
I am. I would do it just once. Come back decapitated.
Mhm.
Like that's
Yeah.
no joke though. Like you can
And then guess
easily
what?
get
You don't get the
decapitated.
money. You don't get your life. You get nothing.
No insurance, and I gotta pay for my funeral. Nothing.
No, hell no. They don't care
You know,
about
if
your life. They don't care about your death either.
You know, if I die on duty, I get a free funeral.
Congrats.
I don't know. That's the only good thing, honestly. That's why I was like, I keep telling Queenie, I'm like, dude, hopefully I die on duty, so that way you don't have to worry about the funeral.
Hopefully oh my god. I don't want to, do you want a full, you want to be buried?
No. Cremate me. Fire
too.
it up.
Yeah, I
Fire
want to
it
be
up.
cremated.
Yeah.
It's cheaper, which obviously is a good thing. But on top of that, you can I can be in the home with you. Like you can just set me on a mantle in a box. You know?
Actually, just put
I
me
think that's
back
cool.
on my computer stand. Just leave me there.
Turn on Stardew and just let me just chill, you know? Keep it on a loop. Keep it on a loop.
Load it back up for my last save.
Mhm,
Just
mhm.
leave me there. I'm good. Start,
But in
dude.
full hockey protective gear. This ride suffered from an inevitable problem of physics. If a human body was either too light or too heavy, they often wouldn't have the right momentum to safely clear the loop and would get stuck at the top, crashing down
Okay,
on
but
either side.
how too
Nosebleeds
heavy
and
though? Like
facial
too
and
heavy,
back
you would.
injury-
Well, I guess if you go around the loop,
Yeah, you get about
like
right
you would
here
slow.
and you heavy.
Yeah, you slow down. You slow down.
Yeah, you smack the top of that thing.
were extremely common, so much so that the ride was only open for a single month before the state's advisory board forced it shut, considering it too
month.
dangerous. Some
Wow.
early riders were even coming back with lacerations to their bodies, and when the ride was closed to determine what caused this, teeth that had been knocked out of previous riders' mouths were now lodged
what?
in the foam-lined interior walls, slicing open the next riders as they
My
passed through.
God.
But the
You are
That's-
joking.
That's disturbing. That is so fucking disturbing. Just
You're
teeth lining the inside of that tunnel.
You're
Holy
telling
shit.
me these people gone down the slide, got their teeth knocked out their mouth, and then the teeth got lodged in the side of the plastic.
And I bet
and
you
then
it was
cut
like
bitches up.
I bet you it was like the, because if you're gonna have your teeth knocked out or something, right? It's gonna if you hit, it's gonna go what? How do you explain it? Like the canal, like the root part is probably gonna be the part that's sticking out, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, probably.
Dude,
Ugh.
and imagine so much bacteria. Oh,
no.
infection. Ooh. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I wonder if they say how many people died just from straight up unhygienic
Yeah,
situation, not just injuries, you know?
and they were
wonder.
musty back then. They were musty.
You remember?
I
They
remember.
be stinking. Yeah,
They was stinking, brother. They stank.
I'm gonna ask my dad. He was born in 70. Like, was everybody stanky back then?
Was everybody stanky back then?
He'd probably be like, hell yeah, the people I was around, a bunch of drunks and just at the bar all the time. Yeah.
They're all drunk.
His so you know how I said he took me to the bar to introduce me to his friends?
Mm.
Specifically the owner. The owner's name was Cracker. So, I just need to say that. Anyway.
Cannonball Loop was by far from the only crazy installation. The Tarzan swing
call you
was a
Cracker
steel
from now on.
arch suspended from a cable
That's
over a
racist.
spring-fed natural pool. Patrons waited in long lines for the chance to swing out and jump off into the water below.
That's not bad.
Because this
That's not
spring
bad.
was fed by mountain water, the temperature rarely exceeded 50 degrees, a fact most only came to appreciate as their bodies immediately went into hypothermic shock upon entering the water, where they would need
No.
What the
immediate
fuck?
rescue after being unable to pull themselves back out. Another danger was if you held on for
50 degree. I don't know if everybody's gonna
Huh.
understand how cold 50 degrees is in water compared to, just being out 50 degrees.
Okay, but hypothermic?
Walk in.
Hypothermic? Like, can't 50-degree water get you that quickly?
Yeah, hypothermia. Yeah, 50. Yeah, it's water versus just the air, just outside being 50 degrees is way different.
Cap.
What temperature does water freeze at? Doza, tell me.
0 degrees. Oh, Google. Somebody's got
0 degrees.
Is that not true? Hold on.
Are you about to Google it?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what it says.
Water freeze. 32. But it also says 0 degrees Celsius. So technically,
Celsius. You are not talking about no Celsius with your
technically,
fucking
that's
Texas ass. Your
I
Texas ass
actually
was
would.
not. No, you wouldn't. Your Texas ass was not talking about no Celsius.
um,
And it said 10 degrees Celsius is what 50 is. So that shit
Anyways.
cold. All right.
too long, you risked crashing into the concrete platform at the far side of the pool, something that broke many ankles and toes.
Well, that sounds like a skill issue. You
Well,
should
why
let-
would you hold
should let
on
go.
that long?
Yeah, you should let go. Skill issue, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's just a skill issue, really. In
Ah!
fact,
Yeah.
Period. That's actually you narrating.
I was actually, I was in this.
It's your
All of
video.
this. Actually, every person in here is actually me.
Well, they're not bald headed, so no.
No, it's all different times,
Oh,
different
okay,
times of my
okay,
life.
okay.
It's edited in
Heard.
CGI, AI type shit.
AI.
Yeah.
Ruining the
of
planet.
Waterworld, at the
It's
aqua
okay. I'm gonna give everybody this water right here. It'll be fine.
What?
Scoot, patrons would
They're ruining the water supply with AI. I
Mhm,
said it's okay. I'm gonna give
mhm.
everybody this water right here in this picture.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm talking
Came
about
across a
dumb.
shallow-
It was dumb.
Well, your mother.
pool of water only slightly deeper than a puddle in places, using a plastic sled in the same manner as skipping a stone over a lake. However, if
Slightly
you lean too
deeper
far forward
than a
or back,
puddle.
the edge of the sled would bite into the water, catapulting the rider's head directly forward into the shallow
Oh.
puddle, resulting in
okay.
serious
Cool.
injuries. Even if you avoided this, often the attendant would have already let the next rider down, slamming straight into the back of you. The collection
Great.
of raft-based
Wow.
artificial whitewater rides were also notoriously dangerous. Roaring Rapids was built to look like a natural river, complete with jagged rocks and sharp overhangs that
Oh my
fractured
God.
femurs, collarbones, and dislocated knees and shoulders. One of the courses featured a
Ooh.
toilet bowl which flushed riders down into a dark tunnel.
We have
A
that.
tunnel lined with foam padding that would often
Foam.
tear away from the walls, narrowing the hole and causing human riders to clog the toilet. Attendants would then have to quickly
Oh my god.
Oh, I would die from a heart attack before they got me. If they
I'd
got
be
me.
stressing out. So look, this
How about
lady's
claustrophobia?
unconscious. This lady's unconscious.
I would have a panic attack and a heart attack at the same time, and I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Because you got the foam and stuff around you, got people on top of you, you got water filling up in that mud. Oh, yeah.
Oh
No.
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 Mhm.
Yeah, we have one of these here, and then there was one in Las Vegas that I wrote down that was called the Royal Flush. It was actually pretty fun, but that's different. It was
It's a
made
little
better.
different.
Yeah.
This might be yeah.
turn off the
Definitely not
water
like that.
supply to stop those congested
Turn
patrons
off
from
the water
drowning.
supply?
Surf Hill was another infamous
When they got stuck.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't drown. Yeah.
the water supply to stop those congested patrons from drowning. Surf Hill was another infamous attraction. Patrons would slide down a wet sloped surface on foam mats at high speed, landing in a very shallow puddle. The barriers
Oh my
between
God.
lanes were minimal and people frequently collided with each other on the way down or at the end. The seventh
Now,
lane
why-
was known as the backbreaker due to a special
Yes.
Why? Okay, so they're just basically letting people do whatever the fuck they want.
Hell yeah.
right? They're not having like the lifeguards up there. Like nobody's
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, wait, hold on." They're just basically like, "Just go." Like, what's the
Mhm.
point of them standing there?
I'm gonna guess that they're either also drinking while they're there because clearly they don't care.
Mm.
Or they just literally just throwing people in there and that aren't trained because that's what they did just to build. They did that to build the slide,
Yeah, true.
you know. So I
True,
don't think
true.
these people
Really
are
gave
qualified to do this job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Dude, this just seems like a 10-year-old was like, I want to create a water park, and then
Mhm.
they just except for it's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Bump midway, intended to allow jumps and splashdowns into a larger puddle. It also had a reputation for causing serious injury, but
Yeah, I
both
wonder why.
employees and spectators much loved this ride for one very particular quirk. You see, Surf Hill was especially
Look at the
good
mud
at
next to it.
separating women from their bikini tops. Women would
Oh.
stand up at the end of the surf and, disorientated from hitting the plastic ridges at high speeds,
titties
wouldn't
out.
realize that they had emerged significantly less covered than they began the ride. A nearby snack bar was installed.
I hate people.
Just yitties
Specifically
out.
to take
Yeah, and
Not my nipple meat.
advantage
Dude,
of
your
this
nipple could
view.
get cut clean off.
yeah. And he just said that they were disoriented from.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Okay, so non-consensual
Mhm.
stripping women of their tops.
Yeah.
Sounds
Mhm.
great. Sounds about 70s like. Perfect.
snack bar was installed specifically to take advantage of this view.
Oh, cool. Right. Made an
However,
attraction
a
out of it.
single
That-
ride
that
stood
is
out from all
crazy.
the others.
Mhm.
A ride so deadly it
Oh, look!
quickly became known
wave
by
pool.
employees as the Grave Pool.
Oh.
The tidal wave pool opened at the start of Action Park's
Oh,
1981
no.
season.
Oh no.
This is gonna make me never take my kids back to the wave pool that we have.
This
over here.
scares the fuck out of me. Just it going to the ocean and having that, the waves come up and then you're all fucking
Mhm. No, I'm not
No.
gonna take them back. We went there for a mermaid attraction type situation. Me and Bama and our daughters, but my son wasn't with us. But it's like a bunch of mermaids, or lifeguards dressed as mermaids, and blowing bubbles and shit. And that's where it was at in the wave pool. It was pretty fun, but now I'm gonna be paranoid probably after this.
Yeah.
The pool was 100 feet wide and 250 feet long and could hold 500 to 1,000 people at once. This was a
What?
seriously large and deep wave pool. The waves were generated by underwater machines for 20 minutes at a time with 10-minute breaks and could reach a whopping 1 meter high. The comparative calm
Actual
What?
wave machines. All I see are bars. So I don't. Do you see it?
Okay, so let me tell you what, when they said the wave machines, I'm just thinking like people are getting stuck in those wave machines and
Probably.
they're like, oh,
Or getting sucked down and like drowning. They can't get back up.
yep, exactly.
Yeah, all I can see is bars though, so I don't really know what's producing the waves. I'm kind of confused, but let's just I don't know.
Maybe they're like
the water
flaps in
in
there.
break periods, contrasted with the severity of those waves in a relatively deep pool that got deeper towards the machine end, meant that patrons would often get sucked much deeper into the pool than they intended, only realizing their mistake when they were in over their depth with nowhere to stand up. Because of the unrestricted entry, the water would often be covered in a dense packed layer of floating rings, which would keep people trapped underwater if they got swept down. The dangerous conditions would often cause people to crowd at the relatively few ladders to escape. 12 lifeguards were
my
on
God.
duty permanently, and on
12?
high traffic weekends, as many as 30 people would need to be rescued from drowning. For comparison,
30
In a
people.
weekend?
30 people. Oh my God.
You shouldn't need to rescue 30 people from your water park in general for years.
To have 12 lifeguards for one attraction though? Holy shit.
30 people a weekend.
Good God, man.
Nah, yeah. How did this last this long? All these
I don't know.
accidents we've heard about, how has it not been shut down?
a regular pool
Lord
lifeguard would
have
usually
mercy.
make 0 or a single rescue per year. In fact,
Exactly.
when a consultant lifeguard arrived to make recommendations to improve safety, he was so overwhelmed by the severity of the conditions, he simply disappeared and never returned. And out of the hundreds of
Yeah,
near drownings
valid.
on
Fucking
Valid.
left and said,
No, y'all can have this. I could. What you need to do is shut this bitch down. That's it. I can't help you.
But look how many people there are, bro.
Yeah, that's.
Oh
I would be I would be so overstimulated seeing that I wouldn't even get in.
no.
No, that 30 people a weekend is it's just baffling me. I can't.
3
That's
separate
insane.
occasions, the wave pool would prove to be fatal. In July of
3
1982,
deaths?
a 15-year-old boy named George Lopez would drown.
Oh.
2 years later, 20-year-old Donald DePass, and finally, in July 1987, 18-year-old Gregory Grandchamps. These
A
were
bunch of
not the only
young-
deaths at Action Park. The first reported death was in
20 and
1980 when
18 seem
19
like okay, you can at least like, but a 15-year-old I can kind of see that, but the 20 and the 18-year-old, ooh, wow. You're like they should be old enough to be able to like get themselves out of that situation, but
Mm.
I guess it was that bad. Wow, that's
Yeah.
fucking insane.
I mean, I'm sure it was sucking pretty hard since they had tennis balls hurling at you at 90 miles an hour and other attractions. So
Sucking hard.
Sucking. All of them terrible, but that little 15-year-old.
That little
girl,
15-year-old. That's fucking.
Poor thing.
Year-old George Larson Jr. was riding the Alpine slide after hours. His cart jumped the tracks, and when ejected, George's head struck a rock. He died
Oh
from his
my
injuries
God.
8 days later in hospital. Then on the 1st of August 1982, only 2 days after the drowning of George Lopez, 27-year-old Jeffrey Nathan was riding in an attraction we actually haven't covered yet called the Kayak Experience, which, despite sounding and being relatively tame compared to some of the other attractions, featured a hidden deadly secret lurking under the water. The Kayak Experience was an artificial whitewater kayak run powered by underwater fans that agitated the water to provide the current. Frequently, kayaks would tip over or get lodged among the concrete rocks, meaning patrons would have to step out of the kayak in order to right it again. When Jeffrey stepped out, his foot touched a grill covering one of those electrified fans. A 19-ampere current
He got
passed
shot.
into his body and caused him to go
Oh.
into cardiac arrest. He later died in a nearby hospital. And finally, sometime during
Oh my
He
god.
stabbed-
Holy shit. I just spit. That I'm just flabbergasted. God damn. What the fuck?
He got shot from. That's. Dude. Why are all these deaths and injuries happening and nobody's doing nothing about it?
No, nothing. Nothing's being done. That's insane. That's insane.
Why does no one care? Everybody was too messed up in the 80s.
I mean, it's like the 80s.
To-
That's all they fucking did was like they did crazy shit. Like it.
I'm stressed.
Yeah.
I'm stressed.
1984, a man died after suffering cardiac arrest allegedly caused by the shock of cold water in the pool beneath the Tarzan swing. The water that day was believed to be around 50 degrees. So at this point, let's go a little deeper
According to those, that's not very cold though.
into how and why Action Park was so dangerous
He was
and
weak.
how it managed to continue running for so long. Firstly, many of the staff attendants were teenagers and
Oh,
poorly,
yep.
if at all, trained. Many were under the influence of alcohol while
Oh,
working.
you-
What
and
did I
training
say?
was not
Called it.
taken
You called
particularly
it.
seriously. The former security director, Jim Desai, got the job at age 21. They cared little for enforcing the rules, and considering the attitude of at least quite a few
What
of the
rules?
patrons, that's not entirely
None.
surprising. Sometimes physical altercations occurred between visitors or each other and staff. There was often physical disparity in favor of the patrons, and the teenage attendants didn't feel they had the power to discipline adult guests and would struggle
Oh
to
my God.
enforce the rules. This was definitely exacerbated by the availability
they got one
and
of those?
prevalence of
That's pretty cool, though.
alcohol on site. Beer was sold pretty much everywhere, and the drinking age rules were enforced in a particularly lax manner. The generally short distance between many of these kiosks and the rides involving operating motor vehicles with no safety equipment in a bathing suit really set people up for a rough time. It's fair to
So
say
you
that
just
because Action
drunk
Park was
and just fucking
Drunk-
around, basically.
Drunk,
Just,
half naked, on these death traps.
even with you not being drunk is bad and is like super bad.
Mhm.
You being drunk just amplifies the fuck out of that.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
And insanity.
This is stressing me out. I'm stressed. I'm stressed right now.
Yeah, me too. I don't like this.
closer and slightly cheaper than the neighboring Six Flags Great Adventure Park. Many of the patrons
Oh,
were
It was cheap. That's why they went. Got it.
It's like $5 a ticket.
Yeah, heard.
shit.
from lower income
Yeah, it has-
communities who had
yeah.
less opportunity to learn how to swim. And the fact that the park was advertised heavily to the Spanish and Polish communities nearby, even though that there were no translated instructions, did set the park up for some trouble. There was a fundamental clash
Yeah.
between how people viewed Action Park and what it intended itself to be. See, Gene's philosophy was that Action Park existed in a similar way a beach does. If someone swims out at a beach and drowns, it's a tragic accident, but there is more of a perceived onus on the swimmer for going out and making bad decisions.
That is not the same.
Wow. Wow. He basically said that's your issue, that's your fault. You're
You
the
die,
one.
It's on you.
It's on you, brother. It's on you. No, bro. No, that's not how that works.
Not at a water park. The ocean, you don't have.
It's not a
I don't have to
corporation.
explain
It's not
this,
like
it's
a
obvious.
business. It's not
Yeah.
a business.
That's y'all.
That guy is slow as hell, brother. I'm sorry. That was the
Yeah.
dumbest thing I think I've
Dumb.
ever heard somebody say.
Dying on a roller coaster, however, does feel somewhat different. You're kind of
Yeah,
strapped
'cause
and
it is.
there's no skill involved in staying alive on a roller coaster. But it's been suggested that many of the patrons took that roller coaster attitude to Action Park and held not enough regard for their safety in the face of prevalent dangers because they never
Ooh.
expected to
Ooh.
need a level of control over the danger to stay safe. People just didn't realize that the wave pool was a genuine threat to life if used incorrectly, and the lifeguards regularly had to rescue people who jumped into the deep end without actually being able to swim. And again, turning to how the theme park ran for so many years with such a poor safety record,
not funny,
there are
but it
actually
is.
multiple interesting contributing factors. Because many of the rides were pioneering at the time, often built out of wild imagination as opposed to stringent
Oh
engineering and
my God,
testing,
that guy's
it was
going
difficult for
quick.
the regulatory authorities to control Action Park's rides. Especially in the early days, if a person survived a test run and nothing visually was falling apart, that was considered adequately safe. It's
Wow.
probably not a huge
Wow.
leap
That's
to
fine.
also say that a special relationship existed between Action Park and the state, as the park was only ever fined once in its operating history. In fact, there's a
All those deaths, all those injuries, only one fine.
Who?
Who's he jerking off?
Yeah.
Who was he jerking off?
Who are you sucking to get this kind of brother?
humorous
brother,
anecdote
brother,
that when
brother.
the local government complained about the high demand for ambulances generated by Action Park, Gene simply bought the local hospital a new fleet of vehicles. Accident
Wow.
and injury reporting was often not done correctly or at all, and in cases where a claimant sought liability for injury, the park's legal attack dog attorney would viciously fight tooth and nail. In fact, it became
my
difficult for
God.
victims to hire
Okay.
legal representation from the local lawyers, purely because they all knew just how hard Action Park would fight every single claim through.
Oh, so they
But-
were crooked.
Yeah, they had a corrupt ass, lying
Yeah.
ass lawyer
Yeah,
who just fought tooth and how much were they paying this lawyer?
probably probably a lot. This owner was buying the hospital ambulances and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and the hospital was not putting specific injuries, like not documenting it correctly, so it doesn't come up as okay. This is because of this water park. Wow.
Everybody's in fault here.
Okay,
all
but
y'all
this is also within the time of like Ted Bundy and stuff like that. Like you could get away with a lot of shit at this time.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Sorry, no, you can get away with a lot of
I
shit.
was
Like,
like, what does Ted Bundy have to do with this water park?
no, because like they couldn't pick up that dude. That dude was
Yeah.
fucking doing some crazy shit, but they don't have the technology or the things in place. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They also
Yeah.
don't give a fuck, apparently.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Money?
Not-
Then we're good. You can do whatever. You got
Not
dollars?
two shits. You got monies. You got money on.
You got some
Give
money?
me.
I don't give a
I'll,
fuck.
I'll close my eyes. Shit, you do what you want.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah,
Let
but
them get injured. I don't give a shit.
To trial. This was quite unusual for a business, but this is where we get to the downfall of Action Park.
Let me hear it.
surprising.
Action Park wasn't forced closed, it actually went bankrupt.
Good.
GAR
Oh.
simply couldn't contend with paying for everyone who got injured there. As one litigant
Wow.
alleged in the early
Yeah.
1990s, there were over 2,400 active or past litigants who were seeking
Oh.
compensation
Wow.
against GAR.
2,000 Oh my! That's just the ones that
Every
actually
single
sued.
person.
It turned out that the reason Action Park fought so hard to avoid paying was simply because they had no insurance. It's surprisingly expensive
How
to
did
insure for rides
I
that
was
have a
thinking that at the very beginning. I was like, you know what? They're gonna have all these deaths, all these injuries. They're not gonna have insurance.
Of course they did. Honestly, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Why would they?
tendency to
Lord.
maim and kill. So Gene came up with a pretty ingenious solution. He just set up his own fake insurance company called London and World and insured Action Park for nominal cost. He then did something really crafty and underwrote his fake insurance company with an actual real firm called Dover Insurance, saying to anyone who asked that they would cover any gaps in his own coverage. Dover and
What in the
nobody
hell?
else realized that this meant they'd be covering literally any payouts. It was a clever workaround that avoided Gene needing to pay any premiums while still technically operating with some coverage. Not
This dude is
surprisingly, the government were
corrupt
not
as
happy to find this
fuck.
out, but
Yeah.
Gene did make the
Money
argument.
hungry.
He paid out of his own pocket whenever someone got injured. And by February 1996, the constant legal attacks culminated with the creditors who had taken
Okay,
on
that
their
looks scary as fuck,
$14
not gonna lie.
million debt,
Yeah.
petitioning the company to force it into bankruptcy.
Good. Money hungry and bankrupt.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't give a shit about people's lives or well being at all whatsoever. I'm glad you went bankrupt and I
hope
let me
when
not
he
go that far.
when he took a shit that it hurt him.
Yeah.
Honestly.
He
That's
should be
fucking
forced to go
insane.
down each one of these rides.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
a year later, in 1997, they announced the cessation of all operations. What followed was in short, a
1997.
change-
Until 97.
From like, what did they say? 80, 82? Was it 82?
Nope.
It was really early, yeah.
Almost close to 2000s. Oh my god.
That shouldn't have. This shouldn't have happened in general, but it definitely shouldn't have lasted that long. Holy.
No.
hands between multiple owners, modifications, closures, to produce a much tamer version of the original Action Park.
Or
Many of the
just
ride's
scrap
most
it.
dangerous attractions were either removed completely, buried, or made significantly tamer. The Action Park that ran for 2 decades was no more. A huge reason why Action
decades.
Park continued for so long was simply because it was loved by a great many people. In fact, the park often made the argument that although a lot of people were injured and, well, killed sometimes, they did serve
Sometimes.
millions and millions of customers every year who had a great experience.
That's
Gene's fundamental
insane.
ethos was to put people in control of their action, and this unique experiment created great memories for a lot of people. The bumps and injuries were often considered a source of pride and proof that you had survived Action Park.
Oh, wow.
But
Humans,
thanks to woke,
humans
children-
are dumb. People are dumb. Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
People are.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
Like like they went to war or something. I survived. Action
Be
Park.
proud. Are you proud of it? Being proud of this.
Yeah, that's I hate that.
and these days pretty much will never get the chance to experience the sheer joy of entering cardiac arrest halfway down an artificial water chute composed entirely of rebar concrete and exposed wiring. And I think that's a great shame. Action Park is
Yeah,
a
terrible.
unique relic of a long gone pre-health
Awful.
and safety era of history that could never realistically be replicated today. If you
Thank
enjoyed
God.
this video and want to dive in any further, I'd
Jesus.
highly recommend
All right.
Andy Mulvihill's book, Action Park, which
Oh, there's a book on it. Of course.
You know, I think Johnny Knoxville made a movie about Action Park or something
Did he?
like that. I think because in the beginning of the video, Johnny Knoxville is talking about what's his name, Eugene, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's how I knew about Action Park was because of Johnny Knoxville. I mean, it was the
Mm.
original Jackass. You basically just did what you wanted to do. Let's make a water park.
yeah.
And do exactly what they just did.
I think we named
Except-
it what they named that one thing, that one ride or whatever in the beginning. Do you
What was
remember?
it?
Death Awaits. That should be the name of it. Death Awaits.
Oh shit!
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect
One lifeguard for the whole place.
for the whole place.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if you want to work at our water park, hit us up.
If you barely have any knowledge of what a water park does or is or how to
Yeah.
save somebody, hit us
Right.
up.
Yeah. If you
You'll be
don't
a
know how to
life-
swim, let
You'll
us
be
know.
our head lifeguard.
Yeah. Top.
All right, I give this water park a negative 69 out of 10.
You know what? I agree with you. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I give this
I hate
water
it.
park 0 degrees Celsius. That so it can freeze. Okay,